Welcome back to more Satisfactory and a brand new extension of our power plant. So, continue the extension. So, Extrason, today is Sambuca Day. Well, I would hate Mondays if Mondays were Sambuca Day. Boom.
A new subscriber arrives.
New subscriber.
It fills you with
Regular
determination.
subscriber. Renewal of the subscription. Thank you very much, Sorthler, with the 4 months. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And also remembering to 4 months is sort of the, I don't know, the norm right now in terms of the people who have supported me since I came back here on Twitch. So that means 4 months means you've basically been extending since I came back here. Since the first month I was on here was February. So February, March, April, May, 4 months. Cool, thank you. And it won't be until this 8th of what? 8th of June that we will start seeing regularly 5 months subscriptions. There will be some few exceptions. Oh, this is looking okay. This is looking okay. It's gonna look even better in just a second. Maybe not a second, but logistics 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's how we do it. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Whoops. Did you? So that's 18 days until your 5 months anniversary. That makes sense, right? In terms of since the Is there no stream beer? Only on weekends. I have decided that I am only going to drink beer on stream during weekends. And I've done that for 2 different reasons. The one is the primary and the second one is the secondary. That's kind of how it goes, isn't it? I know this is not going to work unless I also fix the first ones. The primary reason is that when I was streaming Factorio two times a week, it's fine drinking a couple of beers a couple of times a week. But now that I'm full-time and streaming almost every day, then adding just 14 more beers to weekly consumption is not a good and healthy approach. That's the primary reason. So I hope you can understand that and appreciate it. The second part of it is also that Danish and to a large extent European culture revolves around drinking. Great beer tradition, and there's just always drinking involved. However, that's not necessarily the case with everyone everywhere in the world, and also all age groups watching this. And although I don't want someone who says, oh, I really like watching Factorio or Satisfactory, but it's always revolving around drinking, and I just don't drink, so it's kind of meh, right? I don't want that. So drinking is something we do on the weekend. That's my logic to no Monday afternoon evening beer. Voila. And this one, not fast enough. Get another one. There we go. Drink every time news runs out of cable. It's not actually as much as it used to be, but it's still gonna add up. Alright, how's our power? It's not hooked up. That's what our power is. You might have missed a curve belt just inside the floor before going down the elevator. Okay, thanks for noticing, Patrick. Cocaine then. Well, I'll consider it. No? Don't think so. And, well, I can guarantee you it's not before this, because this one is moving at the right speed, so... Technically it's still weekend. No, it's not technically weekend any way, shape or form. But I'm happy that you can drink beer or some sambuca if that's your that's what floats your boat. Don't use boat analogies to a guy living in the middle of a desert. It's just cruel. So whatever floats your camel, I don't know. Ooh, bank holiday weekend in UK. Oh, nice. Wait, camels do float? I don't know. And I just learned recently, relatively recently, that the... Now I don't even know what they're called. Hold on, let me Google that. Yeah, okay, it's called what I expected it. A dromedary or a one-humped camel are actually extinct outside of... They are, but it's called technically extinct? Oh, hold on. Wait, that one goes there. Ah, okay, then this is not correct. Take the other one. No. This one. Uh-huh. What? Did I miss something? No, I didn't miss something. It actually works. All the way over. Now this one will go up here. And it doesn't look like it's symmetric, but it's intentional because I hook them up from the corner that is closest. Then I don't get any clipping, and I get the nicest cables. There we go. Let's look at the power now. 2000. That's exactly what it should. Did you know the US had a wild herd of camels once? I guess they must have been like wild as in they escaped and then they became wild or feral or whatever you would call it. I imagine that's how it goes. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Something that actually just like a small piece of information that is really logical but still just blew my mind when I realized it. But it is so natural for me, and please excuse my lack of adequate education in the topic, but when it comes to Native Americans, right? So, always depicted with horses. Yet horses were brought. There were no horses in the U.S. and North America, or in the Americas, before they were brought by the Europeans. And I was like, what? So, because you see it as such a natural thing for Native Americans on horses. It's just the most natural thing in the world. But That's no more natural than having like, guns. Also, something that weren't there before. That really just blew my mind. Not the right color. Right color. No, not the power pole, not the beloved power pole. There. Or smallpox. Yeah, but that's not how you normally depict Native Americans with smallpox. But yeah, smallpox. Yeah. Pretty shitty things that Europeans brought along. I'll trade you all my smallpox for all of your gold. Well, that's a pretty shitty deal. It has nothing to do with the winning team. Trust me, the history that is being taught in this part of the wood, neck of the woods, also includes some things that are probably not as widely acknowledged in the US. Like, where did all the Japanese people go during the Second World War? That's not something that's particularly often mentioned. See? And trust me, we learn about the... This is also the interesting thing. See, now I'm going to reflect it back on myself. Everyone who has a granddad in who lived during the Second World War, they were all freedom fighters. Thank you, Random X, for the 4 months. German-Danish border, yeah, true. Or the ongoing war with Canada that Denmark is in. Denmark and Canada are in a fierce border over Hans Island, and there are just they keep an active patrol, and they are. If it wasn't because it was Denmark and Canada, it would have been a big issue. No, but the funny thing is, like everyone's granddad who lived during the Second World War was part of the resistance. Someone's granddad wasn't part of the resistance, wasn't it? Weren't they? That's not how things add up purely from a statistical perspective. So yeah. So the war, the ongoing war between Denmark and Canada is about an island in north of Greenland, and obviously it's Danish. There's no question about that. Stupid Canadians. But the way it happens is that they take turns, and then the Danish come in. They send a warship there. They take down the Canadian flag. They plant the Danish flag, and then put a case of Danish spirits, and then the unjustly Canadian Navy comes in, takes the Danish flag down, plants the Canadian flag, and takes the case of Danish spirits and puts some Canadian whiskey, and that's how it's repeated. That's pretty much that's pretty much how it goes. I think that's because it kind of has to be like that, because both countries are civilized countries and will need some kind of resolution from some independent authority. But in the meantime, you have to lay claim to your territory. Hey Rodden, yeah, that's true. I wasn't supposed to stream today. Hey, we built on power. Oops, we did not. We've kind of forgot a bit of... let's see, do we have enough? Nah, while we're here, we might as well go... Whoops. Go up, get some more concrete, go back, and make sure that it's not as floaty. It does feel a bit floaty at this point. You mean gravity? Yeah, gravity. Let's I didn't vote for gravity. It's not my gravity. Or let's play one of those. It's just a theory. That doesn't mean it's called a theory of gravity. That doesn't mean it's true. That just means that it's a theory. What? It's like a 20-meter rock that sits on the border between Canadian water and Greenland waters. Yes. It is in and of itself. Hans Island is pretty much inconsequential by itself, but the reason why it's interesting is because it is one of the closest locations to the North Pole. So if the North Pole is, or as part of the contention of who owns the North Pole, and more interestingly, who has the mining rights to the North Pole, then it is suddenly becoming a rather relevant piece of irrelevant rock. So the border dispute about the North Pole is basically Canada, Denmark, Norway, and Russia, or probably US as well. I mean, I'm sure US also wants a piece of that action through Alaska. Now in the North Pole for presents. Well, the Danish Santa Claus is actually located in Greenland, so that's okay. You can mine North Pole. If the Canucks wanted to insult the Danes, they would be Pabst Blue Ribbon. What? I think the whole Earth is flat. That's, by the way, another checkbox on the Tinder profile. If you think the Earth is flat, please don't swipe. Don't swipe at all. Just take some education, please. And I think that it was of course John Oliver, the greatest compromise of all time. It is cylindrical, so that's why you can see the curvature, but also why you can fall off. Brilliant. This is a decent power plant. This looks good. 2K. Oops. This is a very dangerous place to navigate at this point. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, take that one. And then go here. Get some walls. We'll just get that one. I think that was incorrect. No. What are you doing? Oh, that you're there for the climbing experience. Uh-huh. Well, that sucks. The boulders regrew, but it still works. Never mind. Is that equal? Yeah, it is. Please don't fall down. Please don't fall down. Please don't fall down. Please don't fall down. Ah! Damn it. I am not happy about this. And the part I'm not happy about is the tickling sensation when you're staring into the abyss. the Call of the Void or something fancy in French. We talked about it before, and I cannot remember what it's called, but it's because it's French, it has a fancy name, which probably literally is Call of the Void in French. Yeah. Ah! Don't chat and deconstruct. I almost had a little accident there. Both in-game and... So, did you all remember to vote for the European Parliament? At least the hereby all, I don't mean the people not in the EU. And did you remember to check who you're allowed to vote for? Because you can't vote for anyone who voted yes to Article 13. Oh, wonderful. All of these are wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Yes, and we're parting it hard that the CDU didn't get what they wanted. Oh, okay. And also in the Danish National Party. Yes, Danish National Party. You can see where they got their inspiration from. They're complaining because they didn't get as many votes as they usually do, and they're just like, it's all those climate idiots. It's their fault. It's like, oh, yeah, it's a climate idiot's fault. Well, how about just having policies except just being, we don't like foreigners. That's other people have become more racist, so you lost your, oh, we are the racist party. Someone has usurped you on that, so you gotta get something new. What have Extrason? Did you have? You're in in the Middle East. They don't have this democracy thing. You should try it once. It's actually quite neat. It is the least bad way of ruling a country. And I know you won't agree with me because you're not allowed to agree with me when you're living in desert states. Then you must say all praise the Sheikh or Caliph or whatever. Which is fine. I would praise the Caliph if I was working or living there. Welcome to the, so far, most politically incorrect stream so far. I can see why Denmark doesn't have many forests. Well, there are a lot of forests in Denmark. It's just a small country, so the forests we have are not that big. It's not like Sweden, that's just basically pine forest and mosquitoes.
Our modest fellowship expands. Praise the sub.
Whee! Bonathor, thank you for the 3 months. I can't believe you decided to extend your stay around here. With all the political correctness. Good to see you're not one of those climate nuts. Yeah. In the game I'm burning forest trees, and remember it's only because of the wood law 300 years ago. Yeah. And that's And we can thank the Lord Nelson and the terrorist bombardment of Copenhagen for that, if that is... Did you guys know that it is a rite of passage in Denmark that you have to go to Trafalgar Square and spit on the statue of Lord Nelson? That is just... you gotta do it. It's our pilgrimage. I don't feel we need this. I mean, what are the odds of me falling down here? One is my guess. No, well done, Extrason. That is really correctly phrased. You have earned another year of tax exemption. You might have heard of Martin someone who was voted for. Whoops. What party is that? How will you support these floating structures below the floating structure? Oh, Vichu, come on. This is the firmament. The firmament will support it. Come on. It is... the pillars are resting on the 4 elephants that is resting on the back of Atuin the whale turtle. That's how... right, the whale turtle. I was like, so what's below the turtle? It's turtle all the way down. Alright, let's see. How far down do you need to go before the gal kills you? At the bottom? Probably should report the case of the mysterious reappearing rocks in the minor patch to the... probably aren't supposed to respawn there. No, they're not. Well, they do. Not as cultured as you thought. Come on, I'm a man of culture. I'm a man of culture. I guess by definition, anyone who says that is not a man of culture, but that's kind of beside the point. Alright, we got stuff. We can hook up our location here again. Don't run with a chainsaw. See? That's what happens. Ooh, we have tons of beautiful concrete here. Let's pave the world. Good stuff. And the max. I didn't know. Anyone who knows Pratchett is good in my book. Yeah, I mean, honestly, your name is maybe should have given you away. You got hurt and used that as an explanation for not running with a chainsaw. Perfect timing. Thank you. All right, the chat is really active today. Love it. I absolutely love it. But it also means that I'm less active. That's me blaming you for my inadequacies. Right. Now I suppose we should go back to what? To our quartz plant. Yeah? Let's do that. Let's see, should I... Let me just test something. Will this work? Someone has been putting this one up at a bad location. It should not have been up there. That should have been down. Because I've been really annoyed about this location for a long time. And now I just got the confirmation I needed that it is a fake. It's a fake. It's a big, fat fake. There's no need to build it up there. We want to get it more in line with the terrain if possible. Not like completely flush with the terrain at all times, but definitely when it makes sense. And this is one of those cases where it absolutely makes sense. Approaching on clearance, is that the one? Duck, duck, duck. We're not here to see you play here because you enjoy you having you around and have the community growing. Thank you. I guess I'll take it as a compliment. Anytime now. There we go. Whoops. OCD possible in this game? Well, yes. And then by OCD, we of course have to be clear that by that we do not mean the clinical diagnosis, we mean the internet meme-worthy OCD-friendly thing here. Because I don't think a lot of people who suffer from internet OCD are actually suffering from OCD. It is nothing to joke about. So, now that we are on keep those bushes in the corner of the garden. We don't do gardens. Okay, well, so then it's because of people like you. That's always a bad thing to say. Alright, so the reason why I want to be a bit careful about just throwing that term around is actually because it can be quite debilitating. So, story time. I had a friend once. He was a very good friend of mine. He was my best man at my wedding. So, yeah, my best friend. He was not exactly a ladies' man. Not to talk about him like he doesn't exist anymore, but he's not really a friend of mine. No. But that's kind of part of the story. So, he finds a girl. They get married, and we don't see him anymore. So she completely just swallowed him up. Never really saw him, and so I talked to him some years later when he was finally allowed to go out for one evening, and that was when I got divorced. So basically I was sharing that I got divorced, and then he was also sharing that the reason why he never got out was because his wife was suffering from OCD, and quite severely. So he could not let her be alone with her kids. She had 2 kids from previous marriages, and because he had once left her alone with her kids, and then he'd come home and found that she'd been in the bathroom just washing her hands until she was all bloody, and for several hours while her 1-year-old baby was lying on the floor crying for hours. And after that, he never left her alone with her own kids. That's OCD. So when we don't like things not being in straight lines, I do think we should be careful about calling that OCD, because it is pretty damn serious. So that's why I want to be a bit cautious about just throwing that around. And I haven't seen him since, because he never. No, don't apologize. It's just for anyone who is actually having a diagnosis, it can be something that can be very difficult to live with, and then seeing it all over the internet as just meme worthy, then it becomes a bit disrespectful. That's why. Outliers don't define the median, but I think so. Yeah, suffering, yeah, that's true. Anyway, so that's basically family. I was so wanted, I got kidnapped. What? So that's, I mean, being kidnapped is really a good way to figure out how much your parents love you. So from that on, it's like, you didn't pay the ransom. Clearly, if it was my sister, would you have paid? I'm sure you would have paid the ransom. But for me, you just called the cops. Is that how that conversation goes at family reunions? Right, what do we need back at that location? We got power, we basically need an awful lot of industrial beams. Yes, let's get an awful lot of industrial beams. Oh, these need to be upgraded as well. Like, biological wanted me very much, but... Whoops, I got stuck. Ooh, wow. Anyway, let's see. We need more stuff. More stuff. Oh. Nilaus' biological father. My father? Really? He was so interested in you that he... that makes no sense. He'd never been that interested in me. And apparently he was so interested in you that he kidnapped you. I mean, now I feel bad. Damn. Satisfactory look crazy. It's fun. It's really fun. It's actually incredibly relaxing. It is extremely relaxing to play, except when there's spiders, then it's not relaxing. Where are my... Oh, right. This is motors, and motors are... I don't care. Actually, I do care. Well, I did not enjoy it. Well, maybe the reason why I'm so paranoid against all people in my life. Yeah, that kind of... It's a tough thing to... that does something to your trust in humanity, I would imagine. Luckily, I have been... blessed with a boring life. With very little happening. If that's a thing. With very little excitement and very little of anything to really spark any interesting conversations. Yeah, okay, so we got a bit of everything, and then we get a lot of this thing, which is way too much, but whatever. Whee! Look at this. Slabs roof. Plenty of room for concrete in this bad boy here. Look at that. All this non-concrete here. It's disgusting. All that filthy nature leaking into my concrete base. Oh, ow. My face. Are you going to go back to the first few towers and upgrade them to 400 per minute? Not when I don't need it. But when I need it, oh, absolutely. For example, this one isn't starting to annoy me a bit, but we still have some big things that we want to do. And I'm an idiot. Ow. I am bad at jump pads. There we go. Alright, it would seem as if Neil knows his memes. Well, it is part of studying for work. It's just an angle, you got a spare, yeah. That's also how I tell my kids. Like, this has always been my plan. It's like, you can always make more kids, that's easy. So you take the first one, and you take them to a taxidermist and get them stuffed, so that you can have them stuffed in the corner for just as a lesson for number 2 in what happens when you don't behave. Like, I told you to be home. Look what happened to your big sister over in the corner. She was like, it didn't. My ex-wife wasn't really keen on that idea, but I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, it would really just show that you're serious, because parents have a tendency just to say, this is the last chance. This is the last chance. And if you just have the older brother, sister standing there stuffed in the corner, you can pretty much say that I'm serious. Yeah, Beanie Baby, thank you for the raid on Retro Gamer yesterday. Him and his friends were very entertaining. Good pick. Well, it was random pick. Hello, good evening, Borodimo. That's why she's like, I don't know, maybe it could be anything. It could be anything. Whoops. Yeah, still working on quartz. Yeah, we've been working on the power. Look at this beautiful power plant back there-ish somewhere. Stream is very choppy. Whoa.
A new subscriber. Come, steal yourself.
Hey, Retro Gamer's here. Hiding. Hello, Retro Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the raid yesterday. Oh, if he is here. He's here. Oh, there you are. Alright, let's see. Stream is very choppy. I think I'm gonna watch the rest with the bot. It shouldn't be. It should be fine. And you can always try to restart it. Come on, guys. Stream is fine. This is all I get. Fine. It's not great. Good. Educational. Entertainment. It's just fine. I mean, I don't know what I have to do to keep you entertained. Just fine. Solid. Yes, Borodimo. That's good. Stream is excellent. That's awesome. Excellent. Solid. Fine. Well, Nilaus ramp up the quality. Well. Alright, maybe I just don't understand. There are some people who use fine as the best superlative. Hold on. Stop. This is wrong. I should convert these here. Fine is an acronym for freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Okay. I met a fine woman. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh no! I needed to build stuff. Okay, so options. Setting is on mediocre. That's good thing you did not say, Nick, that you didn't say that the stream was mediocre. Set on. Let me just set the quality of the content to mediocre. We'll ramp it up when we play Factorio some other day. Let's see, that reminds me. They invented biodiesel for cars that use crude oil diesel. Those science are damn good. What? There is a limestone right around the corner, even a pure one at that. However, I don't particularly like the concept of building it here. That kind of defies the concept of the towers if I do that. See, quartz crystal takes 30, which means we're gonna need a lot, right? Like a lot. Oh, biodiesel which works with normal diesel. Yes, but that's quite common in the US. It's actually really strange that when I went to US, how much there's biodiesel everywhere, and that's nowhere in Denmark. Which was like, why? Why do we not have biodiesel? Or maybe we do, and it's just not something that's advertised. Right, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to bring this home. And I'm going to... Oh, that's going to be bad. Bad stuff. I'm going to bring it back on... This is horrible. It is lovely. I don't know. One or the other. Okay, I forgot that I need 1 million concrete for this. I think that the amount of concrete... Didn't I just throw out... Yeah, I did. Okay. This is why you don't go out with a full inventory. Americans make biodiesel out of frying oil, and we all know how much Americans like their fast food, so let's go around. Well, I'm not actually sure that is the case. I'm pretty sure that the biodiesel does not come from frying oil. Well, I'm not absolutely sure, but I think it comes from the crazy amount of cornfields that are around. Because corn is actually what you use for making biofuel. And the problem is when you only use the first generation for biofuel, because then you have all of the, like the hard bits. You only use like the corn part, which is really wasteful because that's also food. Or feed for livestock. But if you can use all the hard bits and the plant bits, then it actually starts making a lot of sense. In Denmark, about 5% of all transport fuel is biodiesel, but biodiesel is not a good exit strategy. That's true. Oh, the E85. Oh, right, I know that, and it's, whoa, I worked on a project for Novozymes, Danish company, that works on, what is that? Novozymes works on making enzymes that are essential to this fermentation process that is needed in order to sort of prepare it for it. So, yeah, I do know. We were actually working on a concept of making a biofuel plant in a shipping container. The idea would be that you could have it on it was a really cool concept. It just couldn't really get it all to match up. But the idea was pretty awesome, I think. Do they need that one? No. The idea was basically that if you have a farmer, and then you will have a lot of biofuel or biomass around. But the issue is usually that biomass is heavy, but as a low value. So transporting it on trucks is very inefficient because you basically use a lot of what you would produce by transporting it. So it's not really like, yay, we have our green fuel, except it's going to be transported by trucks to the nearest plant, which is 100 kilometers away. I'm like, how is that a good calculation? Anyway, so we wanted it to be produced at the site with the farmers, and they could basically, you could come with a 40-foot container, and you basically shoved stuff in one end, and you would get biofuel and wood pellets out the other one. And everything was good, but it was just so difficult to cram it into a container. So because the idea would just be, if it doesn't work, it would be basically on a lease basis. I think the whole concept was pretty awesome. And now, there you go. That was now anyone who feels that's still a good idea, you're welcome to steal it, because Novozymes was really interested in that idea, and then the fuel prices dropped, and then all investment in biofuel just disappeared. So we couldn't really get any investment to move it further, or any interest from Novozymes, because they're the ones who supply the enzymes needed. That's wrong. Why did I do that? Please just build the first production step here. Better to transport the processed fuel like a biofuel story. I know, but these don't cost anything. So I do like it. I actually do like this part. And I know that it's totally inefficient, but it's more along the lines of how I like this base to operate. Because as you can see, I'm actually making firsts primarily. What? Invalid shape? No, you have invalid shape. Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't invalid shape. Never mind. But I don't want to make it. That goes against the whole concept of the space if I make it on site here. Because then it's not a city, and it's just like decentralized. And I don't build decentralized. I built a city. This is a horrible location to bypass. That should be possible to get there. Yep. Then I don't need this one either. Then I can do that here. This is not so great. Crap. Redo, 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 redo. The reason why I don't want to build the first step at this location is actually because it's going to be quite a big step. And if I do that big step there, then I just feel that it's taking something away from my power plant or my tower. And I want this to be brought into a tower and then built there. It would be exactly like smelting offsite, and I don't do smelting offsite. I do smelting back in the base, so it's going to have to be the same methodology here. And I'm not particularly fazed by the fact that this is more work and slower build. Alright, cold nuclear like thorium is fine. Extras, and yes, it is fine as long as people remember to invest in the handling of any nuclear materials. And that's the issue. I mean, when a relatively civilized country like Sweden kind of forgets to prioritize their nuclear power plant that's right next to Copenhagen, then I think that bodes very poorly for just generally about the fact about that you have to remember to what's it called? Yeah, to maintain them, and that's expensive and it's difficult. And yeah, I mean, France has pretty successfully used nuclear power a lot and for a long time. Ooh, look at that place. Oh, I think someone said that there was a secret cave in here. Nice, that must be it. Let me get distracted from my distraction and get some more of that. Ooh, that's interesting. Hey, so the Swedes are just as bad as the Belgians. Oh, I don't have a lot of fun things to say about Swedes, but I'm not sure they're as bad as the Belgians. See how I just managed to insult two nations at once? Yay! Swedes are, that's just kind of, if I don't take any opportunity I can to insult Swedes, then I'm going to lose my Danish citizenship. It's in our national laws. We have to. Reload. Oh, whee! Ah! Alright, one more. Ooh. Sweet. Into the secret cave. Or not. This looks like a place where it should say on the outside, "Here be spiders." Nom 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 nom. But we are not going in there yet. And we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then I'll be back with more shenanigans. I will see you guys in 3 minutes time.